India and Canada have resumed diplomatic ties. There's been progress, there's been a thaw. Both sides have appointed high commissioners to ensure that the diplomatic process, which had really taken a nosedive, recovers. But in the midst of all this is Sikhs for Justice, a US-based Khalistani outfit which has threatened siege of the Indian Consulate on Thursday. And this is in Vancouver. The pro-Khalistan group has said that it will take over the Indian Consulate on Thursday and ask Indo-Canadians planning a routine visit to the consulate to choose another date. They also released a poster showing the new Indian High Commissioner, that is Dinesh Patnaik, with a target on his face. In a statement, the group accused Indian consulates of running a spy network and surveillance targeting Khalistanis. Now, earlier this month, the Canadian government, in an internal report, had acknowledged that the extremist Khalistani groups were receiving financial support from individuals and networks based in Canada. So there is this deep nexus that is happening in Canada. Khalistanis are getting support, funding, and the entire wherewithal, and they continue to target Indians, they continue to target Indian High Commission, and they continue to target the Indian state. I want to first play out this report that's been filed by my colleague Maha Siddiqui from ground. Then we take on the big questions as always and try and get you some answers to that as well.
Yet another provocative move by banned Khalistani outfit Sikhs for Justice, who've threatened a siege of the Indian Consulate in Vancouver on Thursday. The outfit has in fact also released a poster with a target mark over the picture of the new Indian High Commissioner to Ottawa, Dinesh Patnaik. This is not the first time that violent threats have been made by SFJ against Indian missions or its diplomats. Over the past 2 years, similar threats have been made, and specifically after the killing of pro-Khalistani separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar, when similar posters with the names of Indian diplomats or their pictures came up. Meanwhile, the Indian government at that time had expressed serious concern over the security of its diplomats, and the government at that time had said that they would provide adequate security to the diplomats as per the Vienna Convention. But the relationship over the issue between the two sides soured soon, with the then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accusing the Indian government agents' involvement in the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. But more recently, the two sides have tried to reset the relationship with a meeting on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Kananaskis between Prime Minister Mark Carney and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The two sides have also reinstated their senior-most diplomats in each other's country, that is the High Commissioners, only recently, a couple of weeks ago. Meanwhile, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, that is the CSIS, has also for the first time in its annual report acknowledged the threats from pro-Khalistan separatist groups, saying that they have used the Canadian soil for raising funds and for planning violent threats against India as well.
Let's get you the big questions that we're asking as far as the big story on India Global. First up, are diplomats in Canada safe given the threat that has come in? These are credible threats. Are they right now safe there? Next up, the next question we are asking, will India protest these latest terror threats that have come in? Will there be a formal protest that will be registered by India, and will that warrant an action by Canada? Next up, is this entire Khalistani terror network actually rising under Mark Carney? Has he been completely inadept in being able to address these concerns, and is it allowing the network to flourish? And lastly, when will Carney act when it comes to the Khalistani terror network? We've been asking that again and again on India Global. Every time there is yet another instance, the buck stops with Mark Carney. Is he acting? Will he finally be forced to act? Remember, these are not just individuals. This is the Indian High Commissioner in Canada being targeted. Let's get in Ambassador Sajjanhar for more on this. Ambassador Sajjanhar, we've spoken about this in the past as well in terms of the credible threats that are there as far as the Khalistani terror networks in Canada. How serious is the one right now with the poster of Dinesh Patnaik being put out by these Khalistani terror outfits?
Yeah, thank you very much, Gaurie, for having me. You're very right. These threats have to be taken seriously, and in response to one of the questions that you asked, is the Indian government going to take it up, going to raise it with the Canadian government, definitely. I'm sure it's going to be taken up both in Delhi as well as in Canada, in Ottawa. I'm sure our embassy, our High Commission will take it up with the Canadian Foreign Office there, and here also the new Canadian High Commissioner, he will also be summoned to the Foreign Office, and he would be told about our concerns. I think as far as Mark Carney is concerned, I mean, these are, let's face it, initial days. And Mark Carney and his establishment, his dispensation, have made all the right noises in terms of, you spoke about this report, Maha came up with this, what she had said, that there's a report that
But
has come
Ambassador
up.
Sajjanhar, these are not stray instances. In fact, there's a pattern if one starts talking about it. From the shooting instances on several prominent Indians to the one which involves targeting the Indian High Commissioner. And remember, this comes after India and Canada have very cautiously moved ahead and trying to recover their relationship from the naders it saw last year. So in the wake of that, how should Canada now be acting after this threat that has come out?
Yeah, no, you're right that, this is not the first instance. Much of what happened earlier was during the tenure of Justin Trudeau. And Mark Carney has, in his conversation at the G7 with Prime Minister Modi, reassured that, action will be taken. So this is the first test case. So, as one would say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So really, let's wait and see what, the RCMP and the Canadian intelligence agencies and the law enforcement agencies do about it. What is the action that they are going to take? Because it's going to be on Thursday that they have said that they are going to lay a siege around our consulate in Vancouver. So we'll have to wait and see. And of course, as far as the consulate itself is concerned, we have to make all our arrangements in terms of ensuring that security, that no one is going out, and around the consulate premises unnecessarily, but definitely hold the local administration and the law enforcement authorities to count that the primary responsibility of providing safety and security to the diplomatic missions lies with the local administration and the local government.
All right, we leave it there. Ambassador Sajjanhar, thanks much for joining me on India Global. And viewers, bottom line on this really is that as far as the Khalistani terror networks are concerned, there is now acknowledgement inside Canada that they are getting their funding, their support, and all other aspects needed for them to continue to thrive and prosper. And who are they attacking? They are attacking everything that has to do with the Indian state officials and the High Commission as well. And in this case, the High Commissioner. How soon before finally Mark Carney realizes that this needs to be acted upon in the strongest possible terms, in the strongest, sharpest possible manner to send the message across? Because at the end of the day, these Khalistani terror networks and the speed and ease with which they operate on Canadian soil essentially comes back to haunt the entire Indo-Canadian relationship. Until the time Mark Carney realizes that, this aspect of the relationship will not recover fully.